Hello. In today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the interesting things that happened throughout history on today's date, July 24th. In July 24th, 1847, Mormon leader Brigham Young and followers arrived at Salt Lake City, Utah to settle. On July 24th, 1866, Tennessee becomes the first Confederate state readmitted to the Union as part of Reconstruction following the American Civil War. On July 24th, 1911, American archaeologist Hiram Bingham got his first look at the ruins of Machu Picchu, an ancient Inca settlement in Peru that is now one of the world's top tourist destinations. Traveling on foot and by mule, Bingham and his team made their way from Cusco in the Urubamba Valley, where a local farmer told them of some ruins located at the top of a nearby mountain. The farmer called the mountain Machu Picchu, which translates to Old Peak from the native Quechua language, and is believed to have been a summer retreat for Inca leaders whose civilization was virtually wiped out by Spanish invaders in the 16th century. For hundreds of years afterwards, its existence was a secret known only to the peasants living in the region. That all changed in the summer of 1911 when Bingham arrived with a small team of explorers to search for the famous lost cities of the Incas. On July 24th, after a tough climb to the mountain's ridge in cold and drizzly weather, Bingham met a small group of peasants who showed him the rest of the way. Led by an 11-year-old boy, Bingham got his first glimpse of the intricate network of stone terraces marking the entrance to Machu Picchu. The site itself stretches an impressive 5 miles with over 3,000 stone steps linking its many different levels. Today, more than 300,000 people tramp through Machu Picchu every year, braving crowds and landslides to see the sunset over the towering stone monuments of the sacred city and marvel at the mysterious splendor of one of the world's most famous man-made wonders. On July 24th, 1969, Apollo 11, the U.S. spacecraft that had taken the first astronauts to the surface of the moon, safely returned to Earth, where it splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. The American effort to send astronauts to the moon began with a famous appeal President John F. Kennedy made to a special joint session of Congress on May 25, 1961. Quote, "I believe this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth." End quote. 8 years later, on July 16, 1969, the world watched as Apollo 11 took off from Kennedy Space Center with astronauts Neil Armstrong, Edwin Buzz Aldrin Jr., and Michael Collins aboard. After traveling 240,000 miles in 76 hours, Apollo 11 entered into a lunar orbit on July 19th. The next day, the lunar module Eagle, manned by astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin, separated from the command module, where a third astronaut, Michael Collins, remained. The Eagle began its descent and finally touched down on the lunar surface at the southwestern edge of the Sea of Tranquility just a few hours later. On July 24th, 1974, the Supreme Court unanimously rules that President Nixon must surrender the Watergate tapes to the Watergate Special Prosecutor. On July 24th, 1975, the officially unnumbered Apollo spacecraft used in the 1975 Apollo-Soyuz test project that became to be known as, quote, the handshake in space, Apollo Command Module splashed down in the Central Pacific Ocean and the Hawaiian Islands area. On July 24th, 2002, 9 coal miners were trapped in a mine in Pennsylvania. All were rescued 3 days later. And finally, on July 24th, 2005, cyclist Lance Armstrong won his 7th consecutive Tour de France. So that's all for today. I hope you find these things interesting. I'll do more of these going forward. Thank you.